Malden, Hernandez in the middle, Robichaux, Malbranch, Carrasco in the back, DeCrane in goal. And there you see the numbers for the team leader offensively, Michaela Waldner, 5 goals, tied for second in the SEC. The Bulldogs getting it done offensively and defensively so far here in 2018. 5-0 record. 4 of their 5 wins coming via shutout. There you see Tom Anagnist, first coach in Bulldog soccer history to open with 5-0 records in consecutive years. Looking to take his team to 6-0 on the season. They'll take on Austin Peay for the first time ever. Austin Peay just one neighboring state away. Hard to believe this is the first time they've ever faced each other in women's soccer.
That is true. I'm excited to see what both teams bring today to the pitch. Yeah, and maybe this is the start of something.
We mentioned in our open briefly Claire LaRose. The Governors have not scored many goals on the year, Christy, but LaRose has been essentially the linchpin of their offense when they have scored.
Yes, she's brought 3 goals. This year, she scored 3 goals this year, matching her total for all of last year. And she was the forward that scored the lone goal in their loss on Friday night to Little Rock.
Coming off their first loss of the season, first time they've ever been defeated by Arkansas Little Rock.
Yep.
In the history of that series.
And here we go.
Bulldogs dressed in the all-white uniforms. Austin Peay in the red and black here on this toasty Sunday afternoon in Starkville.
And Carrasco has already found herself on the ball. Let's see what she can add to the attack.
Had a beautiful assist on the second goal of the game for State in their most recent match, a victory over Central Arkansas. Early opportunity perhaps for Austin Peay, but they were unable to cleanly get set up.
One thing that makes Mississippi State's defense so strong is how they get so many numbers behind the ball. With an unfortunate turnover by Robichaux right there, they were quick to get back defensively.
We'll talk more about the defenses for each team as the match goes on, but the numbers are very impressive for both the Bulldogs and the Governors. Run out for DeCrane, and she gets there in time.
Malbranch did a great job of shielding the attacker from Austin Peay so that DeCrane could come out and get that ball.
DeCrane in goal for all now 6 matches that the Bulldogs have played on the year and has been part of 4 shutouts through 5 complete matches here in 2018.
Yeah, Mississippi State is currently allowing 6.6 shots per game, which is just a great statistic to be 5 games into the season.
In their last match, the one that you and I called on Thursday night, their opponent, Central Arkansas, didn't have a single shot the entire match.
Yeah.
90 minutes, no shots on goal. The Governors on the attack once again. Nice job. Zerbel comes in, running up the left side. Austin Peay gets back defensively. The Bulldogs shutout victories over Southern Miss, Stephen F. Austin, South Alabama, and most recently Central Arkansas, the only team to score a goal so far on the Bulldogs, Memphis. But State won that match 5-2. Austin Peay got off to a 3-0 start with 3 consecutive shutouts before they, as Christy mentioned, dropped their most recent match to Arkansas Little Rock.
And from what I understand, that scoreline might not have been indicative of how the game played out. I think it was a lot closer if you were to watch that game.
Mary Parker Powell, the keeper for Austin Peay. The rest of the starters for the Governors includes, as the forwards, Mackenzie Dixon and Jennifer Smith. The midfielders, Morgan Girardi, Renee Seaman, Claire LaRose, who we spotlighted earlier, and Katie Costantino. The defenders, Caroline Wickstrom, Jade Durier, and Abby Farrell to go along with Katie Kinward. And we mentioned Powell in net. Austin Peay on the counter.
They weren't able to do much with that counter, but Mississippi State needs to make sure they're taking better care of the ball. They've had a number of unforced turnovers here in the first 5 minutes.
A little sloppy here in the opening 5 minutes. You're right. Robichaux, one of the Bulldogs seniors, trying to send one in, and a little too long for McKee.
Yeah, from the looks of it, different than Central Arkansas the other night. Austin Peay seems to be sitting back a little bit more and they don't have that first bit of pressure until their defensive half.
I'd imagine Austin Peay, based solely on what we've seen from the box scores of their matches so far this year, they're going to be a team that wants to make it as low scoring as possible, especially being on the road, playing an SEC opponent. Frustrate your opponent, make it a low-scoring match. Has to be part of their game plan.
Yes. I think like Mississippi State, they're going to get a number of players behind the ball. They're also extremely good at winning the ball in the air. They've got a number of taller girls that are just strong and dominant when that ball's sent in the air.
The Bulldogs have possession with Malden looking for McGilvery.
McGilvery, there you go. She loves to take players on 1v1.
And so far, so good. Tried to make a shot towards the goal, but deflected off an Austin Peay defender. And right on cue, that was McGilvery trying to take it almost from the middle of the field all the way in for a shot on goal.
She's just another impressive young player here for the Bulldogs. She has scored she scored 1 goal in each of the last 3 games, and she had the game winner on Thursday night.
That's right. Had the very first goal of what ended up being a 2-0 victory for MSU on Thursday night. And that was a 1-versus-1 situation as well when she scored that goal back on Thursday. Zerbo wins a battle and keeps it in. Robichaux, I think, trying to find either McKee or McGilvery.
And number 18, Jennifer Smith for Austin Peay. You just saw her win that header that Robichaux played that ball. Oh, here we go. McGilvery, 4 games in a row with a goal. She is hot right now.
Unbelievable. Seemingly out of nowhere, is able to squeeze one right past Powell and in the back of the net.
A great left foot shot to the corner, hits the post. Not much a keeper can do about that one. It's played that nicely.
McGilvery beat a couple of Austin Peay defenders and the celebration for the freshman out of Brooklyn, New York, who has been one of several key freshmen to step up big already on the year for the Bulldogs. But as you mentioned, Christy, in her last 4 matches, regardless of classification, I mean, she has probably been the Bulldogs' best offensive weapon in the last 4 matches, all of them wins.
Yes, she is a threat every time she gets the ball at her feet, and that is partly because of her ability to take players on 1v1. That makes her so dangerous. And then as we've seen on Thursday night as well as tonight, she has a great placement with her shot.
And the Bulldogs yet again draw first blood inside the first 10 minutes. They have now done that in the majority of their matches on the year. This is now their third home match of the
Carrasco with
season.
the service into the box. Oh, McGilvery's there again.
And a nice pass. McGilvery, though, unable to get a clean header. But that's 3 opportunities now where either near the box or in the box, McGilvery has gotten a touch in his last 3 possessions for MSU. So 1-0, Bulldogs on top.
Looks like they're giving Zerbel a break from her flip throw.
They-
She usually
I
wants
noticed that.
she usually runs across the field. Maybe it's a little high.
So we want you
Oh,
to
we got a corner.
have a little more energy in the final 20 minutes of the match. So let's not extend too much of that here in the first 10 minutes on these flip throw-ins. So first corner of the match. Carrasco, the freshman from Cypress, Texas.
And look for number 18, Jennifer Smith. She's a center back. She has transitioned from a forward to a defender this year. She is Defensive Player of the Week in the Ohio Valley Conference. And she is supposedly phenomenal in the air.
A couple of chances there missed by Mississippi State. That ball just floated right underneath or between the legs of 3 or 4 different players. But the Bulldogs remain on the attack. McGilvery trying to cross one in front for McKee, but it's back behind the net. And we have seen 18 Smith already defensively all over the place for Austin Peay. You saw a shot there quickly of the freshman McGilvery.
Let's see if we see the flip throw here from Zerbel.
Yeah, she's backing up. We'll see. Here it comes. Oh, no.
Oh, the
False
referee
alarm.
says back it up. She's not allowing for any extra yardage.
No. And there it is. The first flip throw in.
Oh,
Simply
Carrasco with a swing and a miss.
just a whiff. Carrasco had her eyeballs up and just simply missed getting her foot on the ball. So State could not generate any sort of a opportunity there. Remains 1-0. We're just about 11 and a half minutes in. Glad to have you with us on this Sunday afternoon. A little bit of a collision there right near midfield, and a foul is called on Austin Peay. That will go against Duryea. She and A.K. Ward collided. The Bulldogs on top 1-0. And that's only, Christy, the 4th goal allowed all year long by Austin Peay.
I'm sure Austin Peay is disappointed to have given up a goal so early in this match.
Goal kick inside the box. Austin Peay trying to get
That's a
it.
dangerous ball across the back right there.
Trying desperately to get it across midfield, and the Bulldogs not allowing it so far.
Yeah, square balls are very dangerous to play anywhere on the field.
Whistle. Foul is called against Austin Peay. And that goes against Dixon, number 19. So a couple of fouls against Austin Peay, one against MSU here in the first 15 minutes.
Carrasco left that a little bit short. It was a pretty easy clearance for the Governors.
We saw Austin Peay get it down in their attacking third a couple of times in the first 2 or 3 minutes, and then it's almost as if State shut the door from that point on, and we've seen all the action down here to our left since then.
What a great flip throw by Zerbal that time.
And nothing State could do.
Yeah, Austin Peay seems to be content just kind of sitting in, but they're down a goal already, so they're going to have to not necessarily take chances so early in the game, but find a way to add to their attack.
Especially against an equally, if not even better, defensive side in MSU. Ward trying to find space.
Ooh.
Hernandez put one in there.
Yeah, McGilvery with a head on that, redirected it towards the goal.
And it will result in a corner kick for Mississippi State.
I think that might have been going wide of the goal. I'm not sure the keeper needed to place a hand on that, but better safe than sorry.
That's right. And the Bulldogs again looking for McGilvery when they get into the attacking third. Here she is again, but I think she'll get, this time, called for the foul.
Yeah, working hard back on defense, but maybe a little too handsy in that situation.
So a free kick coming up now for Austin Peay.
Great win by Zerbal.
And a whistle, and we go back the other way.
What a great goal by Malden the other night. That run through and that finish with her head was just, it's really beautiful.
It was a hit on Twitter as well. The soccer Twitter account from MSU tweeted out the highlight clip, and it was it was a hit.
I heard it. Did it make a showing at the football game?
Yes, yes. The Bulldogs had their first home football game of the year last night, and they showed a highlight of that up on the video board during the second half. So you're famous now, Christy. Your voice is now famous.
My voice.
You're Starkville
I think
famous.
I was in awe when she made that beautiful run. I was like, what a run. And then she finished it. That was just great ball in it by Carrasco.
Over 15 minutes in, a whistle, and did she just
I think this referee really wants, no, I just think she really wants, it's a throw in. Yeah, okay.
Throw in, not a corner. But you saw her motion that time to come in some. Carrasco.
Nice ball in.
And the header's just wide, a little high and a little wide.
Carrasco to Malden again.
It worked on Thursday.
No.
Malden, one of the Bulldog seniors. There are 5 of them total on the roster, and 4 of them are starters. Malden, Robichaux, DeCrane, and McKee. Jen Huckabee, the 5th senior, on what is overall a very young roster. 5 seniors, 14 freshmen on the roster. Wistrom and Kenward going back and forth up the right side here for Austin Peay. Governor's trying to find some space.
I think this is the longest possession that Austin Peay has had at this point in a shot.
Long shot on goal, too high. Austin Peay taking the quick shot from far out.
Let's see how close that was.
It was dropping down in there pretty quickly. DeCrane had to, I think she would have been able to get a hand on it had she needed to. Duryea, the one that got the foot on the ball that time for the Governors.
Yeah, DeCrane looked like she would have been able to touch that over the crossbar, but was lucky it went over.
And we'll see if that becomes part of the game plan for Austin Peay, to take some of those longer shots and try to catch that back end of State's defense off guard.
Well, Mississippi State does such a good job of getting so many numbers behind the ball. It is really hard to get behind them. The back line drops off really well, not creating any space. State looking to switch the point of attack.
We just saw Malden that time with a quick touch, if not called Malden's name very much so far in the first 20 minutes.
McKee doing a good job right there, shielding that player and keeping possession. That's what you really want to see your target forward doing, allowing for more players to get into the attack. Carrasco going end line.
It's a nice stop by Powell.
Good job holding on to that ball. There was a lot of traffic in there.
Stood her ground and got aggressive, as you said, in traffic. And a nice job. McKee was coming in hot, trying to get a header in there. Got a whistle and a couple of players down briefly.
It's been a physical match in the middle of the field.
A.K. Ward ended up on the turf briefly for Mississippi State, native of Kentucky. It'll be a goal kick. Well, it's a free kick, and it'll be DeCrane.
A goalie kick.
Who will take it, yes. Goalie will handle things. And there's nothing that anyone can do with that one. That was...
It could have been a dangerous ball if it had been to the right a little bit.
That was a low line drive. Hard touch from DeCrane that was, I'm sure, supposed to go right towards that middle of where all the players were congested in front of the net. Instead, went wide left. A long touch, and the Bulldogs get there first. Zakira McGilvery's fourth goal of the year. Right now the difference as the Bulldogs are on top 1-0 over Austin Peay in this Sunday afternoon match here in Starkville. The Bulldogs have now scored first in all 6 of their matches on the season.
McGilvery took that ball over.
There she is again.
Going down the end line. Can she find somebody? Oh.
Had a chance right there, McKee. It got deflected out by Austin Peay and should result in a corner kick now for Mississippi State. The keeper, Powell, may have slid in there and got a foot on there.
She did a great job covering that. I like how McGilvery picked her head up and really looked to find a player, not just playing a ball into the box.
And once again, in that situation, created her own space. The corner from Carrasco. Headed out and cleared by the Governors.
McGilvery was winding up right there. Great job by the Governors to come in there.
And a nice battle to the ball right there. Waldner did not win it initially, but drew the foul and still gets possession, moved over to the Bulldogs.
And Waldner, a forward, getting back on defense.
She's so quick.
I credit Central Arkansas only getting so many shots. Well, they didn't get any shots off the other night, but part of that, Waldner worked her way back and stopped shots that were about to happen on top of the 18. Let's see what's going on here.
About 21 minutes left in the first half. 1-0 is our score, with Mississippi State leading Austin Peay. Alongside Christy Reif, I'm Anthony Craven. What do you think that discussion?
I'm not really sure. I'm not sure where the foul occurred and if it was a movement of the ball or if it was just a time issue of her taking too much time to play that ball.
A long kick from DeCrane, and Austin Peay is there again defensively. Was that Carrasco who got back on defense?
Yes, I guess it was. Originally, I thought it was a 1v1 situation, but Carrasco worked her way back and impacted the play.
Long pass. The Bulldogs have the numbers defensively, and DeCrane scoops it up easily. Waldner near midfield. Not a clean look, but got it off to McKee, but McKee.
It was a tough one to handle.
Yeah. Goal kick from Powell and a long high one. Austin Peay. Again, cannot get past that back line. Those back three defenders of Mississippi State locking down defensively so far in this first half. It goes over the line, last touched. There you go, there's the signal. Last touch by the Bulldogs, and Austin Peay will have possession. Took a while. Did they get it wrong?
Not sure. I think Robichaux might have had an argument there.
A little confusion there. You had Robichaux for State, and you had Wistrom for Austin Peay, both standing there saying, time for a throw-in, right? What?
Whose is it?
Whose is it? It's all for naught. It all ends up being a Bulldog possession eventually after the foul is called. That is the fourth foul called on Austin Peay. We've seen 2 fouls called so far on Mississippi State. DeCrane will handle the free kick.
Oh.
Got it past everybody, and was offsides called?
Yeah, I think they might have been offsides initially and came back on before they challenged for the ball.
Don't think it would have mattered anyway. That was not a useful kick from DeCrane. Free kick from Austin Peay. The Governor is trying to get something in the attacking third. You get the feeling that they need something, some sort of deflection or a turnover, something good to happen.
I'd say the last 10 minutes they've had it a little bit more in the Bulldogs' half, but they haven't created any dangerous opportunities.
$18 minutes to go, first half.
Oh, McGilvery, is she going to get to this first? She is very fast.
She got there.
And there
Can
it
she
is.
get it past
There
the
it
keeper?
is.
Yes, she does. 2 for 2. Zakira McGilvery, have yourself a first half. 2-0 our score. Mississippi State on top.
What composure on that goal right there. She could have just tried to kick it, but she took her time,
Oh,
cut it
beautiful.
behind her leg, and there you go.
Made the extra move, and which is somewhat dangerous because when you do that, the extra defender is able to come up.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I think if she would have touched it initially, I think the keeper might have been able to make a save on it. So she had to do something a little tricky right there, and it worked out.
2 for 2. 2 shots on goal, 2 goals for the freshman out of Brooklyn, New York. Goal number 5 on the year. So she and Waldner now each have 5 goals apiece through the first 5.5 matches for the Bulldogs. And now if you're Austin Peay, what do you do to counter this now that you're down 2-0 in the first half?
They're going to really hope to get to halftime without allowing for any more goals and hopefully can get one back. We'll see if they allow for more players going forward, but I haven't seen that yet this game. They still seem to be sitting in a little bit.
Couple of subs now on the field. Galceran for State, replacing A.K. Ward. Also Sam Blanchard on the field for MSU, replacing Haley Zerbel. And for Austin Peay, McEwen comes on, replacing Kenward. First subs of the match for either side. And it comes with about 17 minutes to go in the first half. And going back to that last goal, how about the speed from McGilvery to catch up to that and to win it, and then have the composure to still make the move and get a goal?
It was up. Oh, and another shot. Waldner.
Waldner trying to put one through for the first time in a couple of matches. A little too high.
Look how quickly that turn and she gets a shot off. That's another reason she's so dangerous in front of the goal.
If that had been on target, I mean, really, there was nothing the keeper could have done because of how fast she controlled that. Yeah.
Yeah, McGilvery, not only did she show her speed, but she showed her strength. I mean, she was holding off that defender as they were racing towards the ball.
16 minutes left, first half. The Governors in a hole, trying to dig out on the road here in Starkville. And this is what the Bulldogs have done so well at the start of this 2018 season. Not just scoring first, but scoring multiple first half goals and putting their opponent in a hole, allowing them to then change their scheme defensively. Don't forget SEC Now tonight, 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central, as they will recap the big LSU Miami college football game that's coming on tonight. Plus, they'll recap the weekend, the first weekend of SEC football. That's SEC Now on the SEC Network tonight, 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central. Also streaming on the ESPN app. 8-1 shot advantage for the Bulldogs. 3-0 shot on goal advantage for the Bulldogs.
It's a strong tackle right there. McKee slow to get up, but looks like she's going to be okay.
No whistle, just a clean, hard play.
Clean, strong tackle.
The Governors try to quick throw in that time, trying to get State's defense, or trying to get to State's defense early before they get set up, and a shot on goal, but it's a little too wide to the right.
Yeah, they got some more numbers into the attack there. And look for a half chance right there with the volley.
That was Dixon with that long ball towards the net. Goal kick for DeCrane. Short touch out to Malbranch. And she was trying to get it to pass midfield, but Austin Peay was there defensively. Bulldogs trying to create some space.
And that was some nice footwork by Blanchard right here to keep possession along the sidelines.
Blanchard seeing some action, came on as a sub a few minutes ago. Speaking of subs, Austin Peay now has Rachel Bradbury on the field, replacing Claire LaRose, whose name we have not called since the match began.
And Bradbury there from Austin Peay was worked hard to get back to create that turnover. It did not amount to much, but it was still good work ethic.
Ellie stopped what could have been an opportunity for MSU. One thing hurting Austin Peay offensively right now, they have essentially had 0 set pieces in the attacking third. No corners, no free kicks past midfield, really no opportunities to create traffic in front of the net. And it's been, the few shots they've had have been really easy for the Crane to get to so far.
And Blanchard taking an opportunity right there. Sailed just a bit over.
Aggressive shot towards the goal.
I do think this team can be dangerous on those set pieces you're talking about, whether it be corner kicks or set pieces in their final third. They do have a number of girls that are very good in the air.
Austin Peay expected to be a very competitive team in the OVC. On the attack, trying to go, I think they were trying to find, was that 5, Wistrom? Who they were trying to hit up the right side?
They were definitely trying to slot that player in. I think it might be 3.
You are correct, yes, number 3 for Austin Peay. McKeon.
And that could have been a dangerous opportunity had that gone through, but Blanchard had worked back and was able to get a foot on that.
McKeon, a freshman from California. Not a starter, but a sub who came on a few minutes ago for the Governors.
And now Blanchard on the other end.
Nice defense.
Winning a corner kick.
The 5th corner kick of the first half coming up for the Bulldogs.
And Mississippi State, they started with Hernandez and Zerbal out wide, and now they've subbed those girls out, subbed 2 new fresh girls in that are getting it done. Blanchard just showed us what she can do on the defensive end and then won a corner kick. These girls, very fit, especially when it's so hot outside.
And this is, at least here at home, the first middle of the afternoon match.
Yes.
That they've had, and it is not oppressively hot, but it's Labor Day weekend. It's very humid. So certainly they will get tested. Header.
Ooh.
Deflected away. Not cleared, though. And again, Austin Peay gets a foot in there and deflects it. Well, the Bulldogs had a couple of chances there.
That ball fell right to a Bulldog, or was laid off to a Bulldog. And the Austin Peay defenders did a great job of getting in front of that shot, because I thought that might be going back into the back of the net.
That was Tyrell, a sub on the field now for MSU that got her foot on the ball. But Austin Peay got the deflection, keeps it 2-0 with just over 10 to go first half.
And Carrasco initially sent that corner kick long over the goal. And great job by Mississippi State player to head that ball back across the net, making it very dangerous.
A throw in now from Robichaux. Waldner unable to get it. Bulldogs also have on the pitch number 20, Monigo. Carnley Monigo. Another newcomer, a freshman from Pennsylvania.
And Gabriella Coleman's back out there. I think the two are actually just trying to find one another. But Coleman couldn't get on the end of that pass.
Coleman, a sophomore from Keller, Texas. Now under 9 to play. Long first touch, and there are several Bulldogs, but the pass goes too long, and Powell comes out and grabs it for Austin Peay.
And as you just saw, Bradbury for Austin Peay was trying to put pressure on the ball, running probably over 30 yards, but the rest of the team was just sitting back in, not really supporting her. So I don't know if she's getting separated from the team and should hold a better line of confrontation, or if the rest of her team should follow her. I'm not sure what the coach would want in that situation, them being down by 2 goals.
That's a good observation. Is that key to them actually forming some sort of detailed attack?
Because her pressure when she's going up against 3 defenders and a keeper is just, I don't know how successful she can be.
Austin Peay trying to get a couple of shots off. Both get deflected. And a third opportunity never materializes. Cleared by MSU.
I think that was Coleman on the other end, looking to make something happen.
Couple of shots there from Austin Peay, or would-be shots from McKeon and also from Roth. So both teams right now have a lot of subs on the pitch late in this first half, trying to give the starters an extended break with the halftime coming up here in a couple of minutes. Coleman, shot on goal, and she gets it. And the Bulldogs in complete control, 3-0.
That was a nice finish. She's just right. And that was a nice ball by number 20, Inigo Carnley. And she was very composed. She laid it right off to Gabriella Coleman, who just finished it. Nothing the keeper could do about that one.
Fantastic move right there. The assist from Carnley, the goal for Coleman. And again, we see Gabriella Coleman, and you and I have now either seen or been on the call for 3 MSU soccer matches. Coleman, not a starter, but when she comes on, her minutes are valuable. She takes advantage of the opportunity given. And when she gets her foot on the ball, good things happen normally for MSU. We'll take a look at it yet again from the net. And yeah, nothing that Powell could do as a keeper.
Yeah, I don't even think she made a move to actually save that. But Carnley, she had a back to the goal when she laid that to Coleman, which might have been one reason the keeper wasn't able. And here's Coleman again with a great turn. Defender did a good job to stop that shot.
That is, I believe, Coleman's 3rd goal of the season.
The first 2 are with her head, so that's the first one we've seen her score with her foot.
Her first actual, her first actual foot goal.
There you
That
go.
should be a stat, right?
There you go.
A couple of goals from McGilvery, and then you just saw the goal from Coleman. Those are your 3 goals of the first half. Complete domination in the first 45 minutes for Mississippi State. The 4th and 5th goals of the year for McGilvery. The 3rd goal of the year for Coleman.
I do know Austin Peay was losing by 3 before they scored their goal against Little Rock on Friday night. So let's see if when you're losing by 3 goals going into the first half, it'll be interesting to see what the coach's game plan is coming into the second half.
How deflating is that as a player?
It's very deflating. You just need a special player that's going to spark the team to do something special, really, for the rest of the team to get behind.
About 5 minutes left now in this first half.
But I don't see Mississippi State taking their foot off the gas right now. They've got a lot of subs in there that are looking to gain more minutes. And like we said in the past, sometimes when the subs come in, the level can rise with this team. They have such depth. It can be dangerous.
We just
so many different players.
We just saw one of those subs, Megan Henry, drive up the left side and try to put one towards the goal. to your point, there are very few starters on the pitch right now for MSU. Robichaux's out there still, I think. Yes. Robichaux's out there. Malbranch is out there.
Yeah, good job by the Governors just there trying to switch the point of attack. But with the fresh legs of the Bulldogs, they were just able to handle that and get pressure on the ball across the field.
MSU also has Nia Johnson on the field for the first time today. And it will be interesting to see, because you mentioned on that last sequence, Austin Peay trying to switch up some things. Obviously, they have to change something to create a different look offensively, and it'll be interesting to see what happens the final 3 minutes of this first half, and then coming out the first 5 to 10 minutes of the second half, what sort of adjustments Austin Peay will make.
And if they do send players forward, that always opens up opportunities for the Bulldogs on the other end. So it will be a risk. We'll see if they're willing to take. But in the second half, you have the re-entry rule that you don't have in the first half. So the subbing patterns may be different.
Just inside the box. Nice defensive move right there.
I do think Austin Peay is still battling.
There's no question about that. They are still getting after it defensively, very physical, but they have all 3 goals scored by MSU. They've all come in situations where a really nice pass or individual move has created some open space. And there have been very few opportunities or very few situations where the back line for Austin Peay lost their shape. But when they have, the Bulldogs have made them pay almost immediately every single time.
Yes, they have punished. Carnley just found Coleman again there with a nice layoff. Bradbury with some speed up front, trying to get on the end of that long ball. But Robichaux and Malbranch just able to take care of it and handle it.
Good speed, though, from Bradbury. Some of the best speed we've seen so far from anybody for Austin Peay in this first half.
Galceron with a nice turn, switching the point for the Bulldogs.
Galceron from Spain, from Barcelona.
This right here with them switching the point across the back line is just so exhausting for teams that are already losing or down 3-0 to try to track back and forth across that field.
And if you're a team with a lead early, a sizable lead, at what point do you make that decision when you become cognizant of, hey, our opponent right now, we think we have them totally frustrated, maybe even exhausted? I mean, it's got to be on purpose, right? That you're just going back and forth the way the Bulldogs were in that last sequence.
Yeah, well, and they're not applying pressure high up the field, and so that's the space that's open. There's no need for them to go forward, send a 50-50 ball into the final third when they can just swing it across the back line. Or maybe they didn't like what they saw, and so they switched it back. It could have been either one.
Clock ticking down, under 20 seconds in this first half. A tad bit surprising to see the Bulldogs dominate as much as they have. They were trying to get one more attack on goal, but it will not materialize. The half runs out. 3-0 our score. And Christy, it has been all Bulldogs so far this afternoon.
Yes, it has. And McGilvery, her 4th goal in 4 games, just got him off to a great start, scoring very early on. And then with the other girls, just adding to their lead.
Defense has been superb. McGilvery, a couple of goals. Coleman, a goal. 3-0 our score with the Bulldogs on top of the Governors. Christy and I will come back in a few minutes and we'll talk about the first half, have some highlights, and also look around the rest of the SEC on this Sunday afternoon. This is SEC Soccer here on ESPN.
After my car wreck with a semi, I didn't know trucking companies have to carry larger insurance policies.